So tell me, what's new at Leitz?
Yeah, we have a variety of new tools available and new processes available. Let me just take one thing. What we see presently, for example, is the growing demand for prefabricated wooden houses and also high-rises built out of wood. So there we build now special drills with a length of exceeding 400, 500, 600 millimeters and extremely stable, 12 millimeter diameter up to 36 millimeter diameter, in order to do all this wood-based construction in a perfect way. One area we are looking into. The other thing is our new Turbo Hawk tools. That means for jointing wood, very important, this mini finger jointing. And there we develop also a new solution, a modular solution, which gives great benefits in regard of productivity, but also flexibility to the customer. And these are just some things covering the present trend. And then also, it goes without saying, for the panel-based production, for example, our flexible tool like Flex Trim, like Quadroform, where you can easily change over from one radius to the other radius. And all these things we are showing here at LIGNA.
What is a technology advancement being shown at LIGNA that is most significant, especially for your North American customers?
Yeah, you exactly asked the right question for the North American customers, because technology, it is all the same, but it needs to be individualized and cut to size for the customer. In North America, I think the increase of automation is one very important aspect. And if you go to the machine builders, you see more and more automation, because labor force is expensive, labor force is getting rare, and also skilled labor force is a big challenge. And therefore, it goes without saying, automation is one thing. Then digitalization goes together. That means the data for having a stable process, for having an optimum process, for having a productive process, efficient process. And there also then Leitz offers then the right things with an RFID chip or with QR codes on the tooling to increase and facilitate automated processes. So that's the second thing, automation, digitalization. And then another very important trend is also then we have then single machines that we have cells, but also long automated lines. But that means customized, whatever our final customers need. And the important aspect is their individualized furniture, individualized solution. And this we are supporting also with our flexible tooling.
How is your technology being incorporated in today's more smart and connected factories?
That's a very important aspect, because if we are talking about smart factories or intelligent factories, the process is not just done by the machine. You need to have clever ideas on the edge side. For example, if you're talking about edge banding, on the edge banding material, on the glue, and then also on the tooling, touching the workpiece. And therefore, we are putting then data into our tooling to facilitate the production. That means by giving information to the machine, by driving the machine, by the tool, giving information, getting feedback of the tooling. And we have on the European level, we have a big project called ETML, European Tool Machine Language. That's a communication between tooling and machine and tooling. And this is driven by UMABOIS, the European Association for Woodworking Machinery. And that's a very important aspect what we are bringing into as technology.
How does Leitz's product advances help in your sustainability efforts as well as your company's sustainability efforts?
Yeah, sustainability was always a very important aspect in Leitz history. If I go back 2 generations in our family business, there it was already written down in the strategy paper that sustainability is one of the major drivers. During that time, it was not so popular. Now sustainability is one of our 7 main drivers. And for example, a very simple solution, I explained it already a little bit before. For example, our dust flow control tooling, which gives you then a spiraling like a tornado, and the dust is extracted, and by this you need less power. Very important to reduce the power consumption of the machine. Or, for example, sustainability for the employees working on the machine. Our tools, Whisper Cut tool. Whisper Cut, what does it mean? Whisper, it means reducing the noise to make it much easier for the operator. They need not to wear all the time the safety for the ears, and we reduce the noise significantly. And these are aspects where our engineers always think about what we can do, but what we also do on a social area and also then our surrounding area, because Leitz is a family business with its local roots. We are proud of our local roots, but these local roots are all over the world. And we have a program called We Care, where we are looking into doing sustainable projects.
What challenges and opportunities do you see in the short term and long term perhaps for the North American wood industry?
So let's start first of all with the global view and then go to North America. In former times, wood was not such an important aspect. But now, once we are talking about sustainability, once we are talking about the responsibility for future generation, it's becoming more and more important to use wood as a regrowing material for building houses instead of concrete, steel, and all these things, to reduce the carbon footprint. And that's exactly the aspect where wood comes into vogue. That means for building houses, for wooden construction elements, and these things we are picking up. And also in North America, you already built in North America before houses very often wood-based, and there will be another trend which will help and facilitate the whole thing. Once we are talking about prefabricated houses, that means not assembling the wooden house on site, but do it in a factory, assemble, pre-assemble everything, and then finally assemble it then on site when you build up the house. And what we also see all over the world, but also see it in the US, that people are looking more into using wooden-based material, not just for building the house, also for the house insulation, and in order to get more sustainable. So sustainable is not just a trend, but it is a mega trend. And if we want to have a future for our generation, that's very important that we go ahead this way. And therefore we are lucky as Leitz, but also everybody being here in LIGNA is lucky that we are in the right business. And I want to talk a little bit about the mega trends in our industry, especially what we see in Leitz. There is first of all the individualization, which is a mega trend, and this mega trend is reflected in individualized furniture, in batch size 1 production. And this means for us, for Leitz, that we need to have flexible tools. That means where we change, for example, from one radius to other radius automatically in the machine while edge bending or doing other processes. Very important individualization. Then it goes without saying, the processes are getting more and more sophisticated and more complicated. So data needs to be available, and this means digitalization is another aspect, Industry 4.0 or whatever you call it. But what is it? It is data which is traveling together with the workpiece. It is data which needs to be available for adjusting the machine. adjusting the tooling, and there Leitz is offering solution with integrated RFID chip, where we are offering also things like Leitz Expert to make know-how available 24/7 all over the world. And then the third mega trend, absolutely important, sustainability. Sustainability is now very often a buzzword, but we don't use it as a buzzword. We are offering the customer, for example, technologies like DFC, dust flow control. That means to do the dust collection much easier, use less power. Or, for example, our whisper cut tools, light tools, and with light tools, the energy that is required, electrical energy, to start up the machine. That's very important. Less electrical power required, less power consumption, and the return of invest is that the same production, you can do it with less power. And these ideas that are driving Leitz, that bringing us forward as a world market leader, but also the innovation leader in our industry.